Hi, I'm Pam Fox at pamfox.org. If you're new to my channel, you can check out the About Me tab at my website, pamfox.org. In today's video, I've got a question from a viewer from Norma, and it's about yoga and how it applies to hiatal hernia. Now, a lot of times when people ask me about yoga, in the past, my answer has always been that yoga can be very beneficial for helping you with your hiatal hernia, giving you relief from the symptoms hiatal hernia creates, or even helping you with the reversal of your hiatal hernia. And I've had plenty of people tell me that it's been very beneficial for them. I am starting to change the way I answer that question. I'm being a little bit more careful, only because when it comes to yoga, there are many different types of yoga, obviously. People practice yoga in different ways, and when it comes to a hiatal hernia, the reason it's beneficial is because some of the poses move the diaphragm and the stomach away from each other, which is what we want, which is what we're trying to achieve. But there are just as many poses that push them together. And so when I say it can be beneficial because there are some poses that are very beneficial, but there are others that are counter beneficial. So you really just have to have that understanding and that connection when you're doing yoga, which poses are good and which poses are not so good, which can be bad and really can be, go against everything that you're trying to do. And so that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about, and I'm even going to give a little tutorial. I'm going to show you, not necessarily they're modified yoga poses, I'm just going to call them stretches. That you can try out, particularly with the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. These would be great for you to do before your meal to help move your stomach down and help create that separation so you've got a little bit more room for that food. So we'll get to that. So first of all, let's just do a little bit of going back to the basics and revisit the peritoneum. So the peritoneum within your anatomy is a mesentery. It is the mesentery that holds all of your organs in their place within the abdominal cavity. So it's what keeps your intestines from getting tangled up. It's what keeps your stomach and your liver and everything where it belongs to an extent. Obviously, with hiatal hernia, your stomach is in a place where it doesn't belong. But when it comes to that mesentery, that's what's holding everything, kind of attaching everything in its place. And so if you've had a hiatal hernia for an extended period of time, what starts to happen is your stomach is pressed up against or even through your diaphragm, and so that mesentery is creating those attachments within the diaphragm, which isn't what we want. That's not what we want. We want the stomach down underneath the diaphragm with the attachments in this location, not in this location. And so when we begin to attempt to reverse a hiatal hernia, which is to move that stomach down and unherniate it, those adhesions have to stretch, which they do. It's a very stretchy mesentery, and they begin to detach once we get that stomach down. This can take time. For most people, it's not going to happen suddenly or within a couple of applications of doing some stretches or some exercises. Now, I have had some people tell me they simply did, my exercise protocol once and they were good to go. So those people are typically younger. They have newer or younger hernias. They may have a hernia that was caused by trauma, like maybe a blow to the chest, like a sport injury, something like that. And so just moving that stomach down and out of the herniated position and they're good to go, but that's pretty rare. For the majority of people, we're older, we've had a lifetime of this intragastric pressure that's pressing our stomach up. The adhesions begin to attach that stomach to the diaphragm or within the diaphragm, and so then moving it down and out takes some gentle time and consistent practice to stretch those adhesions. Okay, so keep that in mind when you do these exercises. If you do the stretches and they cause you to be more symptomatic or to give you more pain or more irritation, then that means that stomach is really holding on. It's holding on. If you do the stretches and you get a lot of relief, that means you've probably moved that stomach down enough to take the pressures off of those irritated tissues, or you've even unherniated your stomach. And so the stretches that I'm going to show you, they're good for people with small hiatal hernias or they're good for people who've already mastered the ability to move that stomach down and unherniate it. And now they just need some stretches to kind of continue to guide the stomach down because it always wants to go back up. For most people with a hiatal hernia, that stomach has been pushed up over and over for a long period of time through a variety of different things that we talk a lot about here on my channel and in my course, Reversing Hiatal Hernia Naturally. So we have to go back and make sure we address those things so that we're not constantly pushing that stomach up. We're giving it that break so it can relax and move back down. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to just do 3 exercises really quick. I'll guide you through them. I'm going to go ahead and stand up. And let's move that up just a little bit so you can see me. Okay, so first of all, the point of each of these exercises is to move the diaphragm up and to move the stomach down. Okay, so the first exercise, you can stand and with an elongated posture, so nice tall back, okay, and roll the shoulders back. So if you watch my chest right here, when I roll my shoulders back, my chest is rising up. So our rib cage is attached to our diaphragm. Okay, they're attached. So anytime you can do any stretch that lifts your rib cage, that is going to lift your diaphragm. So just by standing here and rolling the shoulders back, you are moving the rib cage up and you're pulling diaphragm up and away from the stomach. Plus it's really relaxing for the shoulders. Now, with each of these exercises, so listen up because this is the key. You have to relax the abdominal muscles, okay? So as long as you're sucking in your gut, you're pushing your stomach up. We want to raise the diaphragm, but we want to lower the stomach. So as we roll the shoulders back and lift our diaphragm, we also want to relax the abs so the stomach can move down. Okay, so we relax the abs. And one thing, and I'll guide you through this, you can give yourself kind of a tummy scratch, and that's just going to help those muscles in the abdomen wall relax. So you can kind of, if you try this, you'll really feel that tension kind of relieving, and you'll notice, gosh, my abs are really tight. I didn't realize my abs were so tight. So relax the abs, give yourself a little scratch on the obliques, on the front, the top, and the bottom. You can do circular motions if that's what does it for you. You can kind of knead and press the stomach down with your fists. It's really gentle. You're really just trying to get, a little bit of downward movement, and you're trying to get those muscles to let go and relax, okay? So relax the abs, roll the shoulders back, and breathe. We'll just do this about 5 times. And if you notice while you're doing this, you begin to have a little bit of gurgling sensation right through here. You hear some noises. That's a good thing. That means you're getting some movement. That means that stomach is slipping down away from the diaphragm. It's releasing some of those bubbles. So any type of gurgling is good. Okay? So another way to lift the diaphragm is through just raising your elbows up. Okay? So again, you can just stand in this position, relax your abs, and take a few breaths. So we'll just take a couple of breaths. Really focus on relaxing the belly. And with your elbows up, that the arms are connected to the rib cage, and the rib cage lifts the diaphragm and pulls it away from the stomach. As you relax your abs, the stomach moves down. Okay, and then an even more advanced version of this would obviously be to place your hands on your head, because your arms are up even higher, which means you're raising your diaphragm up even higher. Or the most advanced would be raising your hands and your arms above your head. So do what's comfortable for you. If you'll hear. Okay, so for anyone with a hiatal hernia, as you start to raise that diaphragm up and stretch those adhesions, that can be painful, for some more so than others, depending on how deep that stomach is herniated in there and depending on how tight those adhesions are. Everyone is going to be different, okay? So if all you can do is this, then do this. If you can go up a little bit higher and higher, then do so, okay? So that's actually exercise number 1, is raising the diaphragm, and I just showed you a couple different ways you can achieve that. Exercise number 2 is any type of side bend. So this would be a side bend. So let's come back. You always want to come back and loosen up those muscles because they're going to retighten. Okay, you can get them nice and loose and do an exercise, and then they're going to tighten back up again. So just loosen that up. Give yourself a little tummy scratch. Relax those abs. And then you can do like side to side like this to begin to stretch those sides. So as I lean to my right, which it may look like I'm leaning to my left. I don't know if everything's reversed. I don't think it is on YouTube Live. On Facebook, I know it is. But as I'm leaning to my right, here I'm creating this stretch, right? My diaphragm is rising up. My stomach is on the left-hand side. So this is a great stretch to create that separation. Just simply leaning to the right, okay? So you can just come in, you can start with a little bit of a warm-up, side to side, rocking the hips, leaning to the side, because you always want to do it on both sides, even though this is going to give you the most. You do want to do both sides. So this is a good warm-up, and then just come in and lean, relax, and hold. Relax the belly, breathe. Good. And then again, a more advanced version would be, you know, lifting those elbows behind the head or over the head. That's going to get that diaphragm up a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, right? Because you're lifting the rib cage up higher, the higher up your arms go, okay? So that's number 2. And then the third exercise would be back bend. So with a back bend, you're simply shifting your weight and arching your back just like that, okay? So I'm just shifting my weight and arching my back, relaxing the belly. And you might find that in this position, it's really hard to relax those abs. So if any of these positions cause you to really contract the abs, do a modified version, go back a little bit, don't do it so advanced. So don't lean back quite so far if you feel that's contracting your abs. You really want that belly to relax. So come back, give yourself a little tummy scratch, get those abs to relax, and try it again. This will put a little bit of strain on your low back, okay? So if that hurts your low back and you don't want to do it, that's fine. This is just an option, and you can always give your back a little bit of a relief by coming into a position like this. You don't want to come all the way down and touch your toes because that just takes your diaphragm, your stomach, and pushes them right back together. But in a position like this, it just takes a little bit of the relief off of your low back, okay? So, so that's the third way, is the back bend. Now, obviously, you can combine all of these, so that I'm going to show you a fourth bonus exercise that's really just kind of a combination of all of these. It's what I would consider the most advanced out of everything that I've shown you today, because it will include the back bend, the side bend, and the raising of the diaphragm. So it looks basically like this. So left hand over the head, lean to the right, okay? So here we have our diaphragm lifted, okay? We're leaning to the right, which pulls it up even more. We're relaxing our abs. The stomach has room to move down. Okay, and so now in this position, we're going to slightly arch the back and just lift the chin. And that's it. This is what I consider the advanced stretch for hiatal hernia. You would want to do it on both sides just to keep it even. But you would want to end with left hand up, leaning to the right, to really create that separation. And like I mentioned before, these are great to do right before you eat a meal, because it's going to really create that separation, help your stomach to relax and move down, help your abs to come into a relaxed state so that you've got more room for expansion when you begin to eat your meal. Of course, for those of you with hiatal hernia, just a little recommendation or reminder, you know, smaller meals is best. So, you know, when you're enjoying your Thanksgiving meal, or any meal for that matter, just make sure you try to enjoy, be present, enjoy the food, enjoy the company, chew your food, try to be patient, not be in a hurry, put your fork down after every bite, you know, take a tiny sip of water occasionally, and just be present and enjoy your occasion. There's always going to be leftovers, so you can come back to that food and, you know, eat a little bit more in a couple of hours or in an hour or whatever. So try to keep your meal, you know, fairly small, if that applies to you. Some people with hiatal hernia can eat big meals, and it doesn't seem to really be an issue. So again, everyone's different. Okay, so today is the day before Thanksgiving. I am running my Black Friday sale, which started yesterday, and it's going to continue until December 1st. So I'm bundling my reverse hiatal hernia naturally course with the diaphragm maintenance course. It's a value of $116. I'm charging $49.50, so it's even more than 50% off of the original price. So if you've been thinking about buying my courses or sampling my courses, now is a great time to do so at a great value. Once you buy these courses, they belong to you. There's no like limited time offer or anything like that. They belong to you. As long as you have a computer, you can access them at your convenience. So when I'm done, I will post that link. When I'm done streaming live, I will post that link below. So, all right, that's it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope those of you who are celebrating Thanksgiving have a wonderful holiday. And the rest of you, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.